Hey there races, Fenrir Darkfang here, and today in the community showcase is Chloemew, an extremely good artist in my opinion at least, and a person that I hope won't butcher me should I have mispronounced her name right now.
Nope, you're good.
Alright, glad to hear that. So, either way, I'm not gonna start off the whole questionnaire the same way I usually do with what's your main class? No. Today I'm gonna change things up a bit, and I think I'm gonna do so in future times to come in general. And the first question I'm gonna be asking is, what kind of content do you bring to the table?
Mostly art stuff, really. Just like I draw things and I record it, and then I speed it up and set it to music. Sometimes I do things in SFM, I record that and then record my process of me editing it basically, like in Photoshop, Paint Tool, Sign, things like that. I do SFM animations sometimes as well. I'm still kind of getting to grips with that program though, because I say I'm a 2D animator, I'm a Toon Boom animator. I kind of get character, when I make like little puppets sort of things. The characters are all split up into lots of different pieces and I move them all individually to create a sort of cut-out puppet sort of look. So 3D is quite a lot different to what I'm used to doing.
Yeah, now thinking about it, that's pretty obvious, but anyways, you know what I call people like you, people that are able to get their hands on multiple skills from multiple types of creating visual content like that?
What?
I call them black mages, because that is major witchcraft right there.
I've been doing it since I was a child.
Fair enough.
Drawing anyway. Animating I didn't start doing till 2010.
Okay, fair enough. So, well, still 7 years from now. Anyways, what would you think is it that makes your style your style? Like, everyone brings something specific to the table that makes people recognize, oh, that's from that artist. What would you say distincts your style?
I think the thing that's distinctive about my style is probably the cartoony kind of look to it, I guess. But the thing about my art is it's inconsistent. I don't draw things the same way most of the time. I'll draw a character and then I'll draw them again some other time and they'll look completely different to how they did the last time I drew them. I'm always finding different ways of drawing things, like sometimes I'll use a kind of pencil-y kind of lines. Sometimes I'll do lineless stuff. Sometimes I like to draw things with it's got the binary brush inside. It gives that kind of pixelated look. Sometimes I like to mess about with that. I have different ways of doing colouring, different ways of doing shading. I'm just very inconsistent, basically.
Basically, your style is a fluctuating mess.
Yes, just like me.
Fair enough. Well, there's one thing that stays consistent about you.
And what's that?
Your humor on butts and smells.
Anyway. I was waiting for you to say something like using the word smell.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, anyways, I actually think that it's pretty neat that you don't have one certain type of art style, because if you keep changing stuff up, that means that your art per se is just gonna stay fresh. Like, it's people are not gonna get used to, alright, so it's another one of these pictures with that lines being drawn that way, yada yada. But yeah, they can expect something new from you every time, even if you redraw the same picture.
Yes, that's just a thing about me in general, really. I like variety. I don't like to draw or do or listen to the same things over and over again. Like if you get my iTunes library and put it on shuffle, the amount of contrast between all the genres can be very jarring sometimes.
It used to be the same way on my end, really. I mean, nowadays it's mostly rock, alternative, metal, but last year I've been listening a lot to jazz, blues, pop, rock, alternative, and even goddamn electro swing, especially electro swing.
That's a good one.
See,
I have a favourite genre. I listen to electronic stuff mostly, but then other than that I just listen to basically anything. If you show me something, I'm not going to go, oh, that's such and such a genre. I'm not going to listen to it. I'll probably listen to it.
I'll remember that and spam you with my Spotify list.
It extends to things that don't really qualify as music as well. Me and my brother once, I don't know if you've ever heard Number Stations, but me and my brother had those on in the background once. And it was very weird, but at the same time, it was very relaxing.
Anyways, I think we're digressing a bit hard here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So back on track, and the next question would be, why Team Fortress 2? What got you into the game? What got you into making content around the game? And what got you into sharing your content with the game? Like, with the game's community?
It was basically the art style of it, really. My brother introduced me to it back in, I think it was the late 2000s. I know he got into playing it around about the time before the Engineer update came out. He showed me the Meet the Team shorts and everything, and I thought to myself, this game has a really interesting art style. But nothing really came of it after that, up until about... in 2010, I stole a bunch of music off my brother's phone so I could listen to it. And he had some Team Fortress 2 remix songs, and for some reason, listening to those made me want to start playing TF2. But I kind of procrastinated on it for a while. And it wasn't until 2012, I think it was, that I properly started trying to play it. I tried it on my brother's laptop because I wasn't sure if my laptop at the time would be able to handle it. And I enjoyed it, but it wasn't until a few months later that... It's funny actually, I procrastinated on buying it, and then it went free to play, so I didn't have to.
Yay!
So I got it then. I played it on my old potato laptop with Chris's configs, and I still barely managed to break 10-15 FPS, but I still enjoyed it, even though 10 FPS, terrible graphics. But I stuck with it, and then after a while I got a semi-decent computer that I could play it on.
Oh, semi-decent. Now we're getting to the
I
good
say semi-decent. I'm pretty sure it had like 2 gigabytes of RAM.
So basically
but
still
it was better
junk,
than
but
my
better
laptop.
than your old one. Okay, I get it.
It was better than my laptop though. I was playing it, I think I bumped up to 30 FPS, which was a lot for me. So I started playing it more, I started liking the characters more. I came up with my little loadout for my little biro, and he has remained exactly the same for all these years, just with the addition of unusuals.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same goddamn story with my spy. Like, even though Soundsmith says that the head of cards is poor man's fancy fedora, I'm just saying... Gambler style. That's my one.
Yes,
and it's
I think it works.
Thank you.
My soldier is basically the same as well. Except he used to have the tin cans on him instead of the killer's kit.
Well, either way, he's a pothead. A literal one.
He is indeed.
Alright, anyways, with your main icon being your pyro, most people are probably gonna assume that you are a pyro main, but that is not true now, is it?
It is not. It used to be. I did used to main pyro, and that was why I had my pyro as my kind of little mascot sort of thing. And then it's funny because the reason I stopped maining pyro was because I started playing on the M Garden, the 300 ping Australian server. I can't remember if I've told you about that.
Well, I mean...
The Muselk server.
Well, I was about to say, I do know that you're a server admin as far as I know, or at least a moderator, on Muselk server.
I am an admin on his server, or rather I was, because the server is no longer up, ripping piss.
Aww.
Pity.
What a shame.
It's it's a long story. I probably don't have time to go into all of it, but basically I got into watching Muselk stuff. I found his Twitch channel. After a while I subbed to him because I had a sub. That means I had a reserved slot on his server, and I thought to myself, well, might as well use it. Tava was on a few times, and he was doing stupid things like resizing everyone, and it made me start joining the server more. And over time, I stopped joining the server just to see if there was anything stupid going on or just to play with music when he was streaming. And I started playing on it because I liked playing with the people who were there. I made friends with them and everything, and I adapted to playing on 300 ping. And I learned that playing hit scan classes on 300 ping is actually really easy when you get used to it. So
because you can hit them around corners that they've already passed. You cheeky brat.
I moved away from Pyro because Pyro on 300 ping, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, Pyro on 300 ping is really difficult. People just will not set on fire. So I moved from Pyro over to Scout, and thus my transition from a Pyro main to a Scout main happened.
Damn, now you're the only kind of main filthier than a spy main.
Yes. I always say that to people, that they assume I'm a Pyro main, and I'll go, actually, I'm a Scout main, which is arguably worse.
Now, let's just go with your main class here, and I'm just gonna ask you the other way too oftenly asked question, which is, what do you think makes your playstyle as Scout?
I like to be really annoying.
What kind of annoying? The milk annoying kind or the pistol annoying kind?
Well, the milk annoying kind, back in the day before the Babyface's blaster, well, back before Valve took it and cracked it over their knee, I was one of those scouts who used it. And I used it on 300 ping. So people had trouble hitting me enough as it is, but with the full boost and my hitbox lagging behind me, I was downright impossible to shoot. And if people did manage to shoot me and get to low health, I just used bonk so I could run away.
You can be a cruel bitch, you know that.
I got to a 40 kill streak with that loadout on 2 separate occasions. It was so stupid, and I don't blame Valve at all for nerfing it, but that doesn't stop me from missing it any.
I wonder why.
I've had instances where there's been 4 people on the other team all chasing after me.
Last and final question, as always, any shoutouts?
I have a few, yes. For
Fire
starters,
away.
I want to shout out GameCam, because, without him, like, taking an interest in my stuff and sort of supporting me and everything and inviting me to the tavern, I wouldn't have met any of you lot. I wouldn't have made most of the friends that I have right now in the TF2 community. So, big shout out to Cam. You are a cool dude.
GameCam, shout out to you. Stay cool, keep doing what you're doing.
And then I would also like to give a shout out to Richow because he smells bad.
Richow, take a shower, you fuck.
And also because he's one of my best friends.
And stay awesome.
I have a lot of fun playing TF2 with him, and it's nice to have someone to play with on my friends list who is in the general same sort of EU area and isn't Australian.
But Australian's a good country, mate. Anyway, any more, or was that it?
One more. I would like to give a shout out to, I'm sorry if I butcher her name, I'm not very good at French, Monsieur Saboteur.
Ah, Monsieur Saboteur.
Yes. She is a very good artist, and she is my adopted daughter.
Okay, 2 things. The very good artist one, seconded, right here. Boom. Monsieur, you are absolutely brilliant with your art as well. And I'm definitely gonna have you on my list sometime, so watch out.
Yes.
And to the adopted daughter one, what the fuck, you two are weird.
She's my adopted daughter, and Richow is my adopted son.
Anyways, thanks a lot for joining in. It's been a hell of a lot of fun, if I may say so.
Indeed.
Alright, and to all of you guys out there, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check Chloemew's stuff out. I'm just linking whatever kind of social media she uses to publish her art on it. I'm just gonna throw all of that into the description, scramble it all together, and it's gonna give a good salad. Great. And other than that, always stay the ace up your team's sleeve, and have a nice day. Goodbye.